It's the AEW Full Gear post show. We're live and we're going.
Start.
Yes, indeed. We are here. We are doing it. It's Full Gear. There's Johnny. We're live. We watched Full Gear. And it happened. John, how are you?
Oh, not too bad. Like, it was a long pay-per-view, but you kind of expect that when you watch AEW. But for the most part, I enjoyed it. I mean, a little long, but you have to expect that. And for the most part, I thought I liked more matches than didn't like matches. So that was probably one of the better pay-per-views I've seen this year from AEW.
Yeah, it was good. I thought it was a good pay-per-view. I didn't love the main event. I thought we saw some good wrestling matches. I don't feel like anything huge happened on the show tonight. Did anything major take place?
2 championship matches, 2 title changes.
Yeah.
Both women's championships.
Was that a big deal?
I think because we've complained about Sheeta and how bad the reign's been, it's like that kind of needed to happen. And also with Julia Hart, like that's kind of a big thing because it's kind of like a new wave now. Like they've been pushing her quite a bit, didn't give her the title the first time, and now they finally are. And it's like, it feels like they're really going to run hard with her now.
Yeah, but I don't think that changes AEW or really makes a difference in pro wrestling as a whole. Julia Hart winning the TBS championship. That gets you excited? That's a big deal. It's a big story coming out of the pay-per-view.
Well, to me, it just goes to show you that they've changed it up in the sense where it's not going to be the names. They've actually made some names themselves, and they actually grew her over the last couple of years into her own character. She's become a better wrestler. Like, just to see her develop, you've seen that happen over time. And now that they've decided, well, we're going to make you a champion. Like, to me, it's just a fresh new start. Statlander really wasn't doing anything. Like, she looked good, but who is Chris Statlander? We still don't even know. Julia Hart, at least there's something there.
Yeah, there's a gimmick. It was a bit of a surprise to see her win the TBS championship in the triple threat there with Sky Blue and Chris Statlander. Not a memorable match. Really?
No.
You know?
It's more about the moment.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing with the main event, too.
Good for her. Not a memorable match. She's the new TBS champion. Cool. I liked the pay-per-view. I thought we had some really good wrestling matches. You know, I liked, of course, Swerve and Hangman was incredible. I thought Jericho and Kenny over the Bucks was very good. I thought the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team ladder match was very good. Orange Cassidy and Jon Moxley was really good. Sting, Darby, and Edge against Christian, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne was very good. We had some very good matches on the show tonight, without a doubt. But I don't know if anything big changed as far as the big picture of AEW, the direction of AEW, or anything kind of really meaningful. I enjoyed the show. But I was expecting a little bit more from the main event with the whole angle that they ran. Running an angle like that throughout the show, I expected a bigger payoff. So if you didn't watch the show and you don't know, we had MJF and Samoa Joe defending the Ring of Honor tag team titles on the pre-show over the Guns. The Guns, who are associated with Jay White, attacked MJF after the match. He injured his leg. He got stretchered out. He got taken away in an ambulance. and he was begging and pleading with Adam Cole not to let them take his championship away. Later on in the show, we have Tony Schiavone saying MJF is injured. He's going to forfeit the championship. The match will be canceled, and Jay White, by default, will become champion, which is like, what?
That's not how it works.
Yeah, that's no tournament to crown a new champion. You just give the belt to Jay White. So that didn't make a ton of sense. And then Adam Cole is like, well, I'm on crutches, and I just had surgery on this ankle. I have one leg, but I will defend the championship for MJF. So all of a sudden, instead of MJF defending his title on one leg, we have Adam Cole defending the title on one leg. Cut to the main event where it seems like Adam Cole is going to wrestle, and then MJF comes in driving the ambulance, which is a strange perk that AEW wrestlers seem to get when they have a trip to the hospital. They get to take the ambulance home with them.
Seems reasonable.
I guess. Doesn't really happen, but I guess if you're an AEW wrestler and you demand it, they give it to you. They arrest you later. MJF then wrestled for 30 minutes with Jay White, which I like. The match was all right, but I couldn't buy it because as soon as MJF entered the ring, Jay White kicked him in his leg, and MJF acted like he got shot in the leg. He falls down, he's crying, he's whimpering, and then he proceeded to wrestle for 30 minutes after that. So I didn't really understand the story of the match. Like, okay, MJF is hurt, I get that, but he seemed so hurt that there was no way he'd be able to walk around on two legs during any part of the match. But then he did, and he wrestled and he sold the leg, but running that long angle throughout the show and making MJF look so hurt and injured and all of that, for him to wrestle for nearly 30 minutes and eventually beat Jay White with some, shenanigans and stuff outside the ring, but nevertheless, it was a lot. And then there was no post-match anything. There was no devil reveal. There was no Adam Cole turn. There was no anything. Like, the match was really good. It was a good wrestling match, but because they ran such a crazy angle around it, because they had the devil as a thing and a mystery around this whole match, and MJF looked like he was going to lose, it felt like we were missing something. So it was kind of a sour ending to the pay-per-view. I thought it was a good pay-per-view, but I thought the finish of it was kind of like, oh, that's it? Mm-hmm. It felt like a dud.
It dragged a bit. Once that table spot got botched, things were starting to feel a little bit like less even ground. There's that table, the botched table spot. Then Adam Cole was teasing throwing in the towel, which became a stipulation all of a sudden. Where'd this towel come from?
The hell was that towel?
Felt very, Bret Hart, Bob Backlund kind of thing, with Helen Hart throwing in the towel and all that.
Yeah.
But it's like, but if Jay White was in trouble, who's going to throw in the towel for him?
Exactly.
It's more about Full Gear 2019. I think they mentioned on commentary too. That's what happened in, I think, the Cody match. Remember MJF threw in the towel for Cody? And he lost the title match because of that. That was the reference for that, yeah. You got to remember everything.
Yeah, but just because there's a story doesn't mean it goddamn makes sense in a wrestling match here. Like, it didn't make any sense. You got to know the story. You got to hear commentary, make one little, 4 years ago, a guy who doesn't even wrestle here anymore, MJF threw the towel in for him, so that's why this is happening. And like, what? All of a sudden there's a towel? In what other wrestling match do you ever have a guy outside the ring with a towel that could throw it in and end the match? That's never a stipulation in any match ever. And like you said, Jay White didn't have any guys for the towel, except he did. He had the Ass Boys, but they got kicked out of ringside, right? Weren't they kicked out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got ejected.
So his towel boys got ejected from ringside. It doesn't make any kind of sense. They were talking about, was he going to throw in the towel? Doug Hepburn said it was MJF's shirt. Yeah, I mean, whatever it was, they were saying, oh, he's going to throw it in the ring, and he's going to say MJF is too hurt to continue, and MJF is going to lose that way, which is just dumb. There's a lot of dumb stuff and a lot of things that didn't work, like when MJF threw Jay White on the announce table, and the announce table just fell apart immediately. And then MJF is like, well, I'm going to go to the top rope anyways and just do an elbow drop on Jay White, who's just on the floor, which looked even worse, looked really painful. I mean,
Why didn't you just pull a table out?
Huh?
Why didn't you just pull a table out? There were so many tables under the ring. We saw it before earlier. I don't know why you just pull a table out.
I don't know.
He looked pissed off.
I don't think he trusted tables anymore at that point. My question is, if that table crumpled so easily, how are the announce guys sitting next to that table? Do they not put their elbows on the table at any point during the night? It can't support anybody's weight? I don't understand why that table crumpled so quickly.
That was incredible.
There's probably a certain spot, maybe in the table, and he landed in that good spot where it just like crumples. It's like Lego pieces, right? Like if you just hit that right spot, it just falls apart.
Have you played with Lego before, John?
I played with broken Lego. Yeah.
Broken Lego.
Like Matt Hardy Lego?
Where the pieces like don't connect, where one piece is like missing, and you try to put it together and it kind of slides there together, but if you pull it out, boom, it just falls apart.
Broken Lego.
I guess you don't have broken Lego.
Would you like step on it?
How would you break Lego?
Yeah.
They're so...
Oh, it's very easy to break Lego. Yeah, you could step on it, you could run over it or something.
Run over it?
You playing with Lego outside with cars. I don't know what kind of
You
Lego
have
you're
cars.
playing with.
You have
Rough
cars.
streets.
Johnny has a different Lego
Countryside.
experience. So, the match was good. That RKO that MJF did from inside the ring, Jay White was on the apron. MJF runs, jumps over the top rope, RKO's Jay White off the apron to the floor. That was nuts. That was really impressive, very athletic. So the match wasn't bad, but it had some bad moments, and the psychology of it didn't really work for me. Eventually, Cole went to hit Jay White with the Ring of Honor tag team belt, but White took it away from him, hit MJF with it. MJF kicked out at 2. And then MJF accidentally kicked Jay White into the ref, who fell down. And then Cole gave MJF the diamond ring, but White dropped MJF and grabbed the ring. But then MJF low-blowed Jay White and then hit him with the ring and pinned him and won the match. And that was it. Like, it wasn't my favorite match of the night. It wasn't bad. But for the main event, it left a little to be desired. I wanted more.
Also a low blow spot. I think I counted. That was the 4th low blow spot of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And to have that be the finish for the main event felt a bit kind of tired.
Yeah. Kicking the balls. A lot of kicks to the balls tonight.
Ric Flair took one.
Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega.
And Luther.
Yeah. Everybody was getting kicked in the balls tonight.
Well, lower the kids, I guess, in the world. You don't need so many kids.
I mean, it's good for Ric Flair. I don't think you want Ric Flair having any more kids at this point.
We're good.
They were talking about that too.
Really?
They're saying, "Oh, now Rick can't have more kids."
Mm.
I'm like, "Is this a bad thing?" Like,
well, Charlotte is pretty cool,
right?
David
at this point.
That's true.
Greatest Titantron of all time.
Mm. So MJF beats Jay White. What did you think of the match? I mean, I have mixed feelings about it. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. But it was not my night for sure. And I felt it was a little flat for an ending for a pay-per-view. And with that whole angle that they ran, I thought that they would give us a little bit more. Like, I didn't love the payoff. There wasn't really a payoff.
I get why you're disappointed, but I enjoyed the build towards it. I like that we started the pay-per-view with, oh, there's something going on that happened. If you missed what happened on the pre-show, this is what happened. Main event's in jeopardy. What's going to happen? So I get why you're upset in the sense where it wasn't the payoff you wanted because it felt like they were building up to something huge and it just felt like it was a regular thing. But if we don't have that big build up for it, I don't think the match is really that special. It's just another match and MJF wins and that's it. But I thought the build up actually helped make the match more interesting. And I think the hard part is the fact that the show is so long, it's hard to really care about what's happening because you've already seen everything maybe twice already. So by the time you get to the main event, it's hard to really care about any false finish because you've seen almost every false finish. So that's what kind of helped by having that angle is that you cared about the main event because it's like, is this even going to happen? And then you actually finally got it. And I thought the crowd did well with playing up with Adam Cole, like he was helping him, but was he helping him? Because it looked like he was kind of like almost costing him the match there a couple times. And I think the crowd played well into the drama.
Belt.
Championship belt, the ring too.
I mean, it didn't seem like he was trying to sabotage MJF. It just seemed like he was screwing up because he was injured and he couldn't quite do it because he was on crutches. He was trying to help MJF cheat, but he was just kind of clumsy. He didn't seem like he was purposefully doing anything against MJF, right?
That we know of right now. But they keep it open, though.
Yeah, I guess.
Is that the end game eventually? Like,
I think so.
Well, I think he's the devil. I think Adam Cole's the devil, so yeah.
Yeah. Still haven't revealed it. We're waiting.
We didn't see the devil at all tonight.
No.
But Adam Cole was kind of busy, so it makes sense.
Oh.
ah.
Johnny has theories. Johnny Theory. Austin Theories. Friend. Okay. Shout out to Doug Hepburn. Shout out to Angelo Contagonis. What do you guys think of Score on 10? Jimmy James, Ryan Katz, Lior. Hello, Lior. Lior says, only caught the latter half of the show. Swerve vs. Hangman was absolutely bananas. So brutal and entertaining. I agree. What do you give this show overall? I'm seeing Alex Taris gave it a pretty low score. No devil tonight, so I give this pay-per-view 3.5 out of 10.
Ouch.
Ooh, that hurts. That hurts. Doug Hepburn says 8 out of 10. Swerve Hangman was great. Mox, Orange, I enjoyed as well. Ospreay wasn't much of a surprise. I agree about that. Will Ospreay was the official signing to AEW. That was the big surprise signing, but a lot of people expected Ospreay to sign to AEW. He's been showing up in AEW. There were rumors that he would sign to WWE, so I think it's definitely a story. Not a shocker, I don't think, for a lot of people. I think most people just expected Ospreay to be in AEW. It would have been a shocker, I think, for people to see him in WWE. But still cool to know that Will Ospreay is going to be a full-time member of the AEW roster. Although I did see a report from Fightful that said that Ospreay was going to still live in England, and I don't know what that means as far as how often he's going to actually be in AEW. Maybe Ospreay signed a pack deal where he's in AEW, but not really. Like, when's the last time you saw Pac?
That's true. I was wondering, like, is he still with the company?
Well, no, he's hurt, though.
Is he hurt?
That's the thing, though. Pac got hurt. Yeah, remember he got hurt a while back.
Yeah, but even when he's healthy, you never see him. And it seems like, is he hurt all the time, or is he just not around?
Well, remember one time he broke his face. Remember he was wearing that, like, face shield?
Yeah.
And then I guess he got another injury. So, he's had some bad luck this year.
Well, hopefully Ospreay actually wrestles full-time in AEW, and we see him a lot. But we're not going to see him until January, because he said he's going to wrap up his duties in New Japan Pro Wrestling, which probably means he'll lose to somebody in New Japan at Wrestle Kingdom, and then go to AEW and start working for them full-time.
Is he still the U.S. champion there?
Yeah, but he'll drop that.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So those are a couple scores on 10. Alex Tarras giving it a 3.5. Doug Hepburn giving it an 8 on 10. And you?
Me?
What are you giving it?
That's a good question. AEW, long pay-per-views, but, good, consistent quality matches. It's like,
Yeah.
I like eating ice cream, but if I eat ice cream for like 4 hours straight, it feels a little like, ooh.
I don't want to eat so much ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was pretty good ice cream. So I'm going to give it a, especially with that death match, like a 7.5.
I think that's pretty fair. 7.5 on 10.
Some good matches.
Johnny?
Yeah, I was gonna say 7, so I'll stick with 7. I
Yeah.
thought it was solid overall. Didn't like every match, but for the most part, I liked it. So 7.
Yeah. I thought it was good. Good matches, but I wanted a little bit more spice. I wanted a little bit more intrigue, a little bit more angle, a little bit more entertainment value, sports entertainment, a little bit more story advancement with people, So for that reason, I'm going to agree with my brother here, and I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10.
All right.
How do you like it?
How do you like
it's like
me
your
now?
lowest score.
Huh?
For AEW, that would be your lowest score this year, no?
Maybe. I mean, I didn't dislike this pay-per-view, but I didn't love the whole MJF injury angle because I didn't think that it paid off that well, and that was a big part of the pay-per-view, and I felt like nothing really moved in a significant way. Like, okay, Kenny and Jericho beat the Bucks. Kenny and Jericho get a tag title shot now. Against who? Big Bill and Ricky Starks. I'm not super hyped for that.
Kind of cool.
What?
If we see that in Montreal, that'll be kind of cool.
Yeah, but they'll probably do it on Collision like this week.
Big Bill.
I just don't. Just not much really happened here. Julia Hart won the TBS title. Good for her. Toni Storm won the AEW Women's title. She's been champion before. Good for her. Will Ospreay signed with AEW. Yeah, we expected it. Orange Cassidy beat Jon Moxley. Good match.
Yeah.
Good for him.
It was my match of the night for a while.
Yeah, it was very good. But, he's still international champion. He's won one with Jon Moxley. It was a hell of a match, but what really changed? Ricky Starks and Big Bill still tag team champions. Match was great, but nothing really advanced. Nothing really changed. What changes for FTR after this match? What changes for Malachi Black and Brody King? What changes for Dralistico and Roosh? Nothing. Swerve Strickland beating Hangman Page is my match of the night. It was incredible. They did everything to each other. All the blood, all the violence, all the weapons, barbed wire, glass.
Staples.
They were stapling each other in the face. Real staples. You saw the staples in Swerve's skin, all over Swerve. Swerve even stapled himself. He was going so crazy.
That look he gave to the camera.
Oh, my God. When Hangman is stapling Swerve, and Swerve is like, it doesn't even hurt anymore. And he stops selling it, and he's like, hit me again. And he goes at Hangman, and then he takes the stapler, he starts stapling himself, and he's like, he's got the blood gushing out of his head. That was incredible.
Or the Hangman drinking the blood and, like, spitting it out in the air, like Gangrel.
That was nuts. That was like, I thought it was too far, but it wasn't too far. That was a type of match that normally happens in front of 15 to 1,500 people. But instead of that, they did it in front of like 10,000 people, and they did it on pay-per-view in a mainstream wrestling company. But that type of match happens. They didn't do anything that no one else does in wrestling. They just did a match that no one else does in TV wrestling.
Big time.
And it was very well done, to perfection. Excellent death match. Didn't love the finish, but other than that, excellent death match.
Oh, and the dead eye to Prince Nana.
Oh my God.
That was one of the greatest things ever. Oh my God. Like, Prince Nana's just trying to dance and be like, hey, we're cool. And then, like, because, like, when you beat up on a manager, you know, maybe it's like a little clothesline or a little thing. He just picks him up, like, has him upside down, like, smashes his head through the table. Like,
dead eye off the apron, through a table on the floor.
Such a brutal looking move. Like, yeah, like that's like a super finish. This guy just like this kind of small guy
did it to old Prince Nana, who was just trying to have a dance on the apron.
That was fat. That cracked me up.
It was great. It was a great moment. So many great moments in this match. So many crazy bumps. So many violent moves. They destroyed each other in this match. They're definitely feeling it.
Swerve had like the barbed wire wrapped around his head, and then like he stepped outside the ring to like do it, but you see him just stand there with like, this big thing of barbed wire. Like, look, like I've never seen that before.
Some incredible moments, incredible images from that match. I mean, match of the night. I know that's your match of the night. John, it's your match of the night, right?
It's not, but it was one of the craziest matches I've ever seen. Yeah. There's some things I like, some things I didn't like about the match.
It's one of the what matches you've ever seen?
One of the craziest matches I've ever seen.
And it's not your match of the night?
No, because there's some things that I was like, I wasn't a fan of.
What was yours? The Jericho and Omega and the Bucks?
I thought that was good, but I didn't think that was the match.
It's the FTR match. It's a big FTR mark.
Oh, the ladder match.
Whoa. To be honest, I don't even know if it was FTR that was the best that match. That was just crazy, that match.
House of Black. That's some pretty cool
I thought
spots.
House of Black actually really stood out. Yeah, Brody King.
Yeah.
When he did that Gonzo bomb, that was nuts.
He killed Dralistico.
Oh, yeah. Dralistico took some nasty
Rest
bumps.
in peace, Dralistico. That match was good. That's your match of the night, the tag match, John?
Yeah, that's a tag match, yeah. The problem I have with the Hangman match, a good match, crazy match. I wasn't a fan of the blood, though. I don't think that's not necessary. We didn't need to see that. Like, that's more like I want to puke than like enjoy anything, watching anything after that. So I don't need to see that.
But I kind of liked it. Hold on. We should talk about the blood spot because it is controversial. Hangman, busted open Swerve and then got underneath him and started drinking his blood. And people were like...
He stapled the kid, like, picture, right? That was on the fridge door or whatever, right? That was the thing.
Yeah.
And then he
Hangman
ripped
stapled some of his kid's artwork to Swerve's face, drew blood, and then started drinking the blood. Right?
Yeah.
Now, I liked it. And I liked it not because I like that type of thing. You know me, I'll pass out from like a cut on my own finger or something. I don't like blood, really. But it was so shocking and so vile and so animalistic that it made you feel something. And it made you look at Hangman and go, you sick
He's an
fuck.
animal.
You are a sick bastard.
Yeah.
What is going on with you, Hangman, that you are willing to do this in a pro wrestling match? You are willing to drink the blood of your opponent. You are this incensed. You are this enraged that you have gone completely mad, and you are willing to do anything. You want to kill Swerve. You want to drink his blood.
Like, even the most, like, crazy method actors wouldn't, like, Daniel Day-Lewis wouldn't drink his, like, co-star's blood in, like, a fight scene or something, like, to get it real, Like,
Hangman,
that's crazy commitment.
Commits to the bit, baby. He fully embraced that moment, that match, this story, and the rage that he is supposed to feel in this whole program with Swerve. It was I think, dead on where they're supposed to be and what they're supposed to be doing. It was shocking. It was disgusting. It was controversial. But that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
That's what art is sometimes. And I thought what Hangman and Swerve did tonight was, I thought it was perfect. I thought the blood drinking thing enhanced it, and you think it took away from it. And you are not wrong, and I am not wrong, because that's just our interpretation of the situation.
Mm-hmm. That's art.
That's art. It was, and no matter what you may think of the match, no matter what I may think of the match, I thought it was the best match I saw tonight. And you thought it was one of the crazier matches you've ever seen. So you definitely had some problems with the match, but no matter what, I think all wrestling fans go away from that match saying, oof, that was crazy. That it was something. It was something that you may or may not like, but you have to see. Right? You have to see it.
Definitely, without question. I just questioned some things that they did in the match. Like, I don't get the idea of fall away moonsault onto a barbed wire table, pick up right away into a power bomb, then pick up right away into, like, was it a dead eye or a buckshot lariat? Like, why did you need to do, like 3 things, like bam, 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 right away? Wasn't even the finish. Like, it was just too much, and they just did way too much at some points. Like, it was good, but they went too far, I thought.
Where it's Hangman was trying to kill him with wrestling.
Yeah, but like that wasn't the finish. That was the thing. Like you're over killing them at that point. Like you're hitting everything, and it's not ending the match.
Needed something more,
It was a lot. It was a lot. Eventually, Brian Cage jumped in the ring, and he attacked Hangman, but Hangman managed to fight him off. And then Nana went through a table, but then Swerve hit Hangman with a cinder block. That they did something with it. Who took a suplex on a cinder block?
Hangman did.
Death Valley Driver.
Death Valley Driver on the cinder block, and that was a real cinder block earlier, not ones that disintegrate when you hit somebody in the back. But they really hit him. They really did a bump on a cinder block. But then Swerve hit Hangman with the gimmick cinder block. And Hangman got up, and then Swerve choked Hangman out with a chain, and Hangman didn't get up, and that was the end. I just felt like, kind of to your point, John, they had done so much in this match. They had done so many crazy things that they could have ended the match with a crazy thing. But instead, they ended the match with, let's just choke him out with a chain. And like you said, when we were watching the match, they could have done this as soon as they started, and
yeah,
it would have won.
Saved him so much trouble. Wouldn't have to dive through all that glass stuff. Just grab a chain, just go. Ugh.
Yeah, Swerve, you wouldn't have been bleeding if you would have just grabbed the chain first, choked Hangman with the chain, and then put him to sleep, and then, the ref counts 10, and you win. Pretty easy, actually.
That's what I would have done.
Dumb Swerve.
Well, another thing, too, like, I don't know about you, like, the ref, if the guy gets choked out, the match should be end. Like, the ref should end the match. Who cares about the 10 count? The guy is unconscious. Like, it's over.
Yeah.
Like, he could be, like, dead, so you should end the match, period.
Well, it's a Texas death match, John. You're supposed to die.
Wow.
It's in the name.
Again, referee's discretion, like, at that point, especially because they've been doing it so many times to each other, where it's just like, oh, I'm going to beat you up with this, you're knocked out, and then we're just going to wait until, like, 9 till you finally get up. Like, we did that so many times. It got to the point where it's like, okay, just don't go to 10. Just ring the bell. Because, like, you're choking him out, and then we have to wait for 10 afterwards as well. That dragged it out, too, was the ending.
Yeah. I still thought the match was really good, though.
It was good. I just, few things I would have liked, but just if they would have cut down some things. Like, again, 30 minutes. Imagine if it was 25 minutes. Maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah. I still thought it was the best match of the night. The tag match was really good. The tag team ladder match that Ricky Starks and Big Bill wound up winning to retain the tag team titles. Cash pile driving Malachi on that ladder that was hanging on the bottom rope. Devastating. Devastating. The Gonzo bomb that Brody hit on Jalisco on the ladder, and then Cash hitting the splash on Brody on the ladder right afterwards. Some pretty devastating maneuvers in this match. A lot of guys took a lot of big falls, a lot of big bumps, a lot of crashes. It was fun. Ricky Starks and Big Bill wind up winning over FTR, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Rush and Jalisco.
My gripe with that match is I don't really remember any spots with the winners. Like, I don't remember them really taking anything, and then they win, which I never really like in a ladder match. Like the guy who seems like he takes the least amount of bumps winds up winning. It never really feels
That
that
makes
earned.
sense.
Yeah,
That's kind of the way they played it on commentary. It was like, oh, they haven't done much. So, well, that's why they won, because they didn't take much punishment.
Yeah, but
That
you
part
know,
was
like a ladder match, you know, like I like it, like to root for the guy, you know, who does some big ass spots and then, you know, climbs the ladder.
they kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't love the finish because it was a little abrupt.
And it's Big Cass. I can't get behind Big Cass.
I don't mind it.
like I get that when it's the faces, but when it's the heels, I think it makes a lot of sense.
They're
It's
heels?
like you don't want them to win. They are heels, yes. Even though no, but it is confusing because Ricky Starks was like
yeah, with the
clapping with some
thing,
fan.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ricky Starks does whatever he wants, but they are heels though.
I guess I didn't get that vibe.
people do like Ricky
No,
Starks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
It's same thing with Swerve. Swerve's a heel, but people are cheering Swerve anyways.
Yeah, people like Swerve.
Well, he earned it. He shed blood for it, you know. Like I thought they were kind of doing like a double turn during that match when like Swerve was no selling the staple shots. It felt like the crowd was going in behind him and like getting against Hangman because Hangman was being too brutal. It felt like that for a bit, but it didn't quite go that way. But it felt like it.
So I'm seeing some scores in the chat. Jimmy James giving it a 7.5. What's your match of the night? I'm seeing a lot of scores like 7.5, 8. Alex Tarras says Julia Hart won the TNT Championship and the pay-per-view gave it 9.5 out of 10. Even though he gave it a 3.5 before. I don't really understand your scoring system. What about everybody else? What did you give it here? We both gave it a 7.5. Johnny North giving it a 7. And our match of the night was Hangman and Swerve. Johnny's match of the night was the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. So let me know in the chat whether you're watching on Rumble or Twitter or Twitch or YouTube, your match of the night and your score on 10 on this pay-per-view. Sting, Darby, and Edge with Ric Flair over Christian, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne. I really enjoyed Christian pushing Ric Flair outside the ring, and then Flair throwing punches and chops at Christian, and then Christian, boop, poke to the eye, and a big old low blow on the Nature Boy, and then Flair crumples down in a heap. I mean, it was fun. There was a lot of fun stuff. Edge went after Christian, but Christian ran away into the crowd and just kind of disappeared from the match, leaving Luchasaurus on his own to take a stinger splash and a spear from Edge and a coffin drop from Darby for the win for the babyface team. Fun stuff. Darby took a nasty choke slam from inside the ring to the apron from Luchasaurus. Looked just horrifying. Another crazy bump from the great Darby Allin. But a really fun opening match. Good stuff. Cool seeing Edge. The entrance was great, where Sting and Darby were dressed like Edge with Edge jackets, doing the Edge entrance, coming in with Edge's song. And Edge had half of his face painted like Darby and Sting. It was cool. It was a cool team. It was a cool moment. And we had Edge versus Christian in a way, but they didn't really touch. Every time Edge went after Christian, Christian escaped the ring or tagged out or whatever. So we still didn't really get to that Edge versus Christian, which I think, we're building towards. So they did the match, but they managed to kind of still save some stuff for down the road, which makes sense, I think, given the the spot of the match on the card. Like it didn't need to have like a big, long, drag out wrestling sequence with Edge and Christian. You could save that for another show because that wasn't this match's place at Full Gear 2023. But, not match of the night, but definitely a very fun, entertaining match, right?
Good opener, I thought. Good way to start the show. I really enjoyed Christian's entrance with the kids. I enjoyed Sting, Darby, and Edge. I guess we can call Adam, whatever.
Yeah.
But I loved their entrance with the bats, and just their get up too. The energy they had when they came out. Flair was there too. It was just a great way to start the show. Perfect way to start the show.
A lot of star power.
Yeah. Got you going. Got you really.
Staying Edge. It's like, oh.
Yeah. It's a lot of stars.
It really got they got the show off to a good start, I thought.
Orange Cassidy beating Jon Moxley, I thought was a good match too. Hit him with 6 orange punches and a beach break to get the pin. Pinned him clean. Beat Jon Moxley for real. Middle of the ring.
I thought it was just okay. I mean, I thought their other match was better. This was just like, it was all right match, but the last match they had, I thought they did more.
They did, but they were the main event of the pay-per-view, right? This was kind of middle of the card. Not really their spot to shine. They only had about 12 minutes. Like, they didn't have a main event spot, right? Toni Storm beat Hikaru Shida in 10.5 minutes to become the new AEW Women's World Champion. Ugh. This was not good. It was just not good.
With the result. The result is what we needed.
Yeah, but the match was not good, and the finish was very bad.
Yeah, the finish was a
Toni Storm takes like a small frying pan and stuffs it in her ass pants, and then she goes back to fighting Shida for a while, and then eventually gets Shida in the corner, which, like, how did she know that eventually she was going to get that situation,
Yeah.
And by the way, the whole time she's fighting Shida, the thing is stuck in her, like, pantyhose that she's got underneath her shorts, so you could see the foreign object, whatever the hell she had there, piece of metal in her ass to make her running ass move more devastating, which eventually she hit and won with the running butt move with the frying pan in her butt to beat Hikaru Shida. Ridiculous, man. And like Ref Aubrey, who's like really in on the action all the time, she doesn't see that she's got a frying pan sticking out of her ass.
And when she's counting that, she's clearly looking at it. I thought they were going to do a thing where she's like, hey, what's this? What's going on here? Like, but no, because they botched it.
I hated this so much. Fucking frying pan in her ass. And it's like, come on. How do you not see that, Ref Aubrey? Oh, Ref Aubrey.
Oh, boy. She had a big night tonight.
She was really, really in on the action in that match.
You can hear her talking, too.
Fucking horrible. She's a fucking bad referee. This match was really, really bad. Really bad. Like, it wasn't so bad until, the frying pan. And then it was like, well, this doesn't make sense. And then Toni Storm won. Yeah, and I think Toni Storm should be the champion, I guess. I don't think this gimmick is particularly great.
It could be better.
It's not logical. Toni Storm has lost her mind and thinks she's a movie star from the 1930s. Okay.
You should talk in that accent, like all movie stars in that time.
She tries to.
Yeah.
But she
the
doesn't.
transatlantic.
She can't do it because she's not that good. It's hard to do that accent all the time. She tries to do it, but it falls out because,
she's not a classically trained actress.
Yeah. She's a wrestler.
She's not Katharine Hepburn.
No. But that's her gimmick. And it's not really working for me, but I like Toni Storm, She can cut a promo. It's not horrible. It's just a little weird. And her matches are usually fine, but this one, they tried to do a gimmick with the ass pan, And it was just too obvious. It just didn't work.
Well, I'm an ass pan.
Yes, I'm an ass pan. Yeah. I love to stick them in my ass, and they stick out of my pantyhose. Well, I'm an ass pan. Yeah. Fucking ridiculous.
Greatest theme song. No daddy ass tonight.
Whatever. We get enough daddy ass. We get Tony ass tonight. Fucking Tony ass really,
You and Tony ass again.
Yeah. You and Tony Egg. John, I know you like Toni Storm and you were happy she won and we expected her to win and all of that shit, but that finish was horrible.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that. It wasn't the best match. I'm just glad we got through this. Like, I don't know what was going on with Sheeta with this title reign. Her last 2 title reigns, like, I don't know what's happened. Like, she just doesn't have good matches anymore. Or just when she does have good matches, it's very rare. For whatever reason, these matches just weren't that great. But for the most part, Toni Storm usually has good matches, and she was the best women's wrestler they've had in a while. So, like, she should be the champion. And I think, like, with someone she has better chemistry with, I think she'll have better matches. So I'm glad we're going forward in this direction. And we'll get to see more of Toni.
Who did she have better chemistry with? Jamie
I think
Hayter?
almost everyone else. Hayter
Really?
was probably her best opponent, I think.
Yeah.
I thought her and Saraya wasn't too bad either. I know you weren't a fan of that match. I didn't mind that match.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Her and Britt Baker was all right too.
The finish of this match was really all-time bad stupid. Like, a lot of things happen on this pay-per-view where you go, ooh, that was on Botchamania. That'll be on Botchamania.
If it wasn't sticking out of her shorts, it would have worked. Because, like, that kind of spot, like, it's kind of like the Bret Hart Goldberg spot they were kind of trying to do.
Like, I get what
Or,
they're
like,
trying to do,
but it
was
just-
sticking out of her
backfired.
shorts so much, and the referee...
And she kind of tried to adjust it, but it still fell out.
Yeah, it was still sticking out of her ass. and what's funny to me is that, like the whole thing, the whole gimmick is to set up making the running butt in the face more devastating. Like, it's a stupid move to begin with. And then, she puts a frying pan in her ass to make the running ass move more. Like, what the fuck? Why don't you just, when the ref's back's turned, just whack her in the head with the frying pan instead? Probably work better. Like, if I had a piece of metal and I wanted to knock a person out, I probably wouldn't stick it in my underwears and run at them full steam with my ass in their face. I probably would just hit them in the temple with it. Logic.
Well, she already did the shoe spot behind the ref's back. She did that already in the match.
Yeah, but a shoe isn't a piece of metal.
No, but she did a whole, like, behind the ref's back hit with the object. She already did that, so.
A lot of foreign objects in this match.
Yeah.
Even Sheeta was hitting Luther with a kendo stick and shit. Like, it was bad.
Yeah, well, they were, when you rely too much on that kind of stuff, it kind of shows you don't have much of a match.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't complain about Ric Flair punching and chopping Christian right in front of the referee and nobody getting disqualified.
Well, it's a 6-man tag, isn't it? Like, anything goes. Remember the first 6-man tag we had? Like, John Moxley just walks in the ring and, like, beats everybody up. Didn't that happen, like, the first episode Dynamite? And, like,
maybe
no one did anything about that.
AEW rules, I suppose.
Oh.
Exactly.
Eddie Kingston says he's putting the Ring of Honor World title and the New Japan Strong title on the line in the Continental Classic. So he says in all his matches, he's going to put the belt on the line. But then he says that the winner of the tournament will be triple champion. They will also hold the Continental Championship, whatever that is. So... And he's saying he's in the tournament. So Johnny North seemed to understand what the hell he was saying. But it didn't make a lot of sense to me because it's a round-robin tournament. So if Eddie Kingston is putting his belts on the line in every one of his matches, if he wins, every match in the round robin tournament, but then the final match he loses, and then he loses his belts, but he still wins the round robin because he has the most points, then the winner of the tournament wouldn't be the triple champion. So it didn't really make a lot of sense to me because I've seen how the G1 works, and if you're a champion and you're putting the belts on the line in every one of your matches, you might lose your belts, but the guy who beat you for your belts might not be the guy who wins the tournament.
Right.
So the Eddie Kingston promo to me was a little confusing. But John, you're saying that Eddie Kingston is just giving up his belts, and now whoever wins the tournament just wins the belts? That didn't seem to be what he was saying in his promo, though.
No.
But that's what Tony Khan is saying is what's happening. That's what he announced, that whoever wins this whole thing wins all the titles.
Yeah, but that's what Eddie Kingston said, too. But then Eddie Kingston also said that he's defending the titles in all the matches. So what, Eddie Kingston has now just relinquished his belts, and they're on the line in the tournament now?
It's kind of weird.
It's weird, but that's apparently the way it's going to work. Whoever wins all this wins all the titles.
That's not what Eddie Kingston said, though, right?
Oh, he said a lot of things, but what's happening is that all the titles, like the winner of the tournament gets all the titles. That's how it works. Don't worry about what everything Eddie said, because a bit of it was nonsensical what he said.
Is there a championship belt that you get for winning this tournament, too?
Yep, there's a new title now.
He said you're the Continental Champion. Not to be confused with Intercontinental Champion, right? A little
Correct.
close.
No, we're going to have another AEW championship, which is a little ridiculous, but...
The Continental.
So you have an international champion and a continental champion. Maybe they should combine them and call it the Intercontinental Champion. I think that would be great. If they're like, no, our Intercontinental Champion, we came upon it a completely different way than WWE did it. You see, we had an International Champion, and we had a Continental Champion, and then we thought, combine.
Hey, now.
So it's not, we call him the Intercontinental Champion, but it's actually the International Continental Champion, if you want to be technical about it. Like, they could make an Intercontinental Champion by doing what I just outlined. And I think they should. Because I don't need a fucking TNT champion, world champion, Ring of Honor champion, Continental champion, international champion. Like, what the hell are we doing here? Just make an Intercontinental champion.
And they should do it at a tournament in Rio.
Yeah, but an actual tournament.
Yeah, like
in
actually
Rio.
do it. They should actually do it. Yeah.
I agree.
Be funny.
Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Let's do it. Okay, so Eddie Kingston said some confusing things. He defended his Ring of Honor title earlier in the night. Julia Hart beat Chris Statlander and Sky Blue to become the new TBS champion. Any thoughts on that match? Because it was what it was.
I didn't think it was bad. The only bad part I thought was Statlander got mad at Sky Blue saying, "Oh, you're supposed to be on my side." And it's like, well, you're a moron. It's a triple threat match. There are no sides in this. It's like everyone for themselves. Yeah, she yelled that out like loud as day. Like, I think near the beginning, just pushed her because I think Sky Blue gave her a kick or something, and she got mad at that. And it's like, well, you're an idiot. Like, it's a triple threat match.
Usually a heel will say that or something.
Yeah,
exactly. Statlander, character-wise, isn't great because there isn't
an
anything.
alien. That's her whole thing, isn't it?
She was
not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah, now she's Statlander. That's it. She's nothing really. She's just tall, can throw people around. That's it.
And a former TBS champion.
For the best, because like, let's face it, Julia Hart had the more interesting gimmick and has gotten better as a wrestler.
And
as a champion, though, she seems easy to beat.
The House of Black. You get the House of Black with her, like, it actually adds a bit of like power to her. Actually, I think.
I don't know. I'm not convinced.
And
she's got
Julia Hart. And Statlander beat Jade Cargill.
Yeah.
Julia Hart beats her. Come on.
That's the legacy of Jade.
Where is Jade? Where is Jade now? Like, we don't see her anymore
I think
on any platform.
I honestly think that because Triple H said something like, we want to get her ready and make sure she's ready for prime time and da-da-da. He was basically saying, like, we need to do more work with her wrestling-wise, performance center-wise, They don't need to get her ready for the look. They don't need to get her ready for,
talking
or any of that. They need to get her ready for the wrestling. And I don't think that they think that her wrestling is up to par. And if the training sessions aren't going well, that might be a reason why you stop seeing her showing up on Raw and SmackDown, because they decided to pull back on her push because maybe they have bought something that they maybe don't like so much. It's a possibility that they're like, oof, maybe she can't really work, because we saw in AEW, like, she could do things, but she was limited. And,
Right.
AEW definitely accentuated the positives and hid the negatives. But WWE
100%.
might not want to do that, and that might not work in the WWE for Jade. So I am under the impression that Jade is at the Performance Center, and they are working with her, and things are going slower than expected. Because why have they put her on TV? Why all the hype to bring her in, and then to pull back on it so abruptly as they have in the past couple of weeks? And the words of Triple H saying, we got to get her ready. She's not quite ready, da-da-da. It's like, oh, you signed her and she's not ready? What does that mean? And they brought her in as such a big star that putting her in NXT might hurt. I don't think they can, really. I think they've invested too much to put her on NXT. We'll see.
Maybe she's a promo class, like if she can't curse in her promos as much, it takes a bit of the shine away,
Yeah.
If she can't tell the announcer to cut the shit, it takes a bit of, like, the pop out of her gimmick.
I mean, Jade got over in AEW having, 60-second matches squashing people. That can't go that far in WWE.
No, not anymore. There was a time.
Yeah, but now, I mean,
the fans turn on that really
and
quick.
she can't squash that many people. There's not that many people on the roster. I mean, you could have, the odd jabroni that you never, a local talent,
Cross.
enhancement talent, maybe a Nikki Cross, maybe a Dewdrop or whatever. But at a certain point, you go, okay, well, they run out of squashable talent. Now you actually have to have a match.
Yeah, she has to wrestle Nia.
And if the matches go really poorly,
oh boy, imagine Jade versus Nia Jax.
Yeah.
That could go really off the rails.
I mean, it could go really badly, and then you go, oh shit, and then things could fall apart real quick with Jade Cargill and WWE.
Yeah,
so I
could be
think
one
they're
of those,
making sure that she's ready. But they have signed talent before. They have introduced them on TV before. And they have made it seem like it was a really big deal when they signed. And then they wrestled and they disappeared.
Gable Steveson.
Correct. That's what I'm talking about.
Nathan Jones.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few, Oleg Prudius was a really big deal when he signed.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Vladimir Kozlov didn't amount to that much. I'm just saying that they have announced, signings and made big deals out of people signing to the company. And, for one reason or another, it's fizzled out. Sometimes they make big deal about a signing, and it works, and it's great. But it doesn't always work. And given what we know about Jade and how she operates, and, I could see her and WWE not working out in certain ways.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it does, because I think she's awesome. And her in, on a WWE TV show would make that WWE show better. Even if she's wrestling in a limited capacity. Jade Cargill in Nick Aldis's job on SmackDown, or in Adam Pearce's job on Raw, like a general manager would work too.
Yeah, that might be eventually her spot.
Like, she's a personality who's also big and intimidating.
She'd be a manager.
She could be intimidating for the men and the women.
Like a China-like figure.
Yeah. Like, she doesn't necessarily have to wrestle and have matches with Charlotte Flair and classics with Bianca Belair or whatever the hell you want to do there. But that is what people kind of want from her. The problem is it may not be in the cards, you know?
But she started training kind of late.
Yeah.
You know, like, still not that seasoned. She's only, like, all, like, those matches in AEW were, like, some of her first match. Like, you know, she's only had, like, 60 matches in her career.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are under a minute long, you know, like, it's tough. You need, you know, a lot of these people have, like, you know, hundreds of matches before, like, you know.
Yeah. And I don't know if the motivation is there. Like, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You know.
Doug Hepburn dropping a super chat, says, thanks again, boys. Great, entertaining content. Thank you, Doug. Thank you for supporting the Ringside Report Network over at membership.ringsidereport.net or join.ringsidereport.net. Membership. Is it membership? Sorry, I just want to make sure I'm giving the right URL. Yeah, I am. Membership.ringsidereport.net or join.ringsidereport.net. Support the Ringside Report Network, just like Angelo Contagonis did. Angelo says, I didn't watch the pay-per-view, but I saw highlights of Swerve and Hangman. I'd give that match alone a 7. Yeah, that match was really good. Jimmy James says, latter part, giving it a 7.5. So a lot of 7.5s and 7s overall for this pay-per-view. Not bad. Not the best show we've seen all year, but definitely some good matches. And Hangman and Swerve is our match of the night. Johnny North's match of the night is the tag team ladder match. So MJF retains the world title over Jay White in the main event. Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega beat the Young Bucks and win a tag team title shot in the future with that match. Swerve gets the win over Hangman Page in the Texas Death Match. Julia Hart beats Chris Statlander to become the new TBS champion. Chris Statlander and Sky Blue in that triple threat. Ricky Starks and Big Bill retain the AEW tag team titles in the fatal four-way ladder match over Rush and Dralisico, FTR, and the Kings of the Black Throne. Timeless Tony Storm becomes the new AEW Women's World Champion over Hikaru Shida. Orange Cassidy retains the AEW International Championship over Jon Moxley, and Sting, Darby Allin, and Edge, Adam Copeland, get the win over Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne. And that was AEW Full Gear. And we are here after every AEW pay-per-view WWE premium live event to recap the action on the Ringside Report Network. And, of course, every UFC pay-per-view, we are here watching along with you. We are here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Ringside Report MMA, and every Friday night at 10 p.m. right after SmackDown for Wrestling Uncensored. If you missed any of the shows this week, go back and check them out. They were good. They're pretty good. I mean, John was all right.
I try. Did you check out that question that we got this week about the fans bothering Asuka about signing stuff? You saw that?
What?
Or you saw the video of that?
What?
The fans, like, there was like an army of fans.
Asuka was. I saw that. Asuka was signing autographs for a bunch of people in a airport or whatever. What about it?
Just people were like, "Oh, I can't believe this is happening," kind of thing. It's like, well, the way I look at it, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. People go out of the way for that, but the wrestlers don't have to do that. No one's telling them like, "Oh, you need to sign this." So, like, the wrestlers can say no, but they're not saying no, the wrestlers. So.
Yeah, but if a group of people come up to you with, like, please sign this, and you say no, I mean, they might go, oh, they might give you shit,
I bet the company probably says, try to sign, it's a good image. We don't want people saying you're a jerk online or anything. Like, it's really easy for people to go, well, actually, they're assholes in everything they do because they wouldn't sign my program.
I mean, there's a certain pressure when the fans are there asking you to do it. They could say no, but, they might take shit for it.
Yeah, I'd take crap for it. I wouldn't care. Too bad.
Yeah, okay, you wouldn't care, but that doesn't mean everybody else wants that negative interaction every time they pass through at an airport. I think maybe those fans... Anyways, they're not fans, John. Those are people trying to sell pictures on eBay.
Yeah.
Like, they're not fans. They're people trying to run, like, a little side business, and it's not necessary. I think those people should not bother the wrestlers, right outside of the airport. Like, you know,
They're
if you
beat up.
if you happen to catch a wrestler, and you happen to see them, great. But if you're camping out outside of a hotel or outside of an airport or whatever in the airport waiting for the wrestlers, like, get a life, man.
Yeah.
Fucking get a life. Like, what are you doing?
This is CM Punk, like I remember in the pipe bomb, like mentioned stuff like that. Like, you fans, Boomy, you're the ones shoving those programs without my face on them at 5 a.m. at the airport.
Yeah. It's like, what? I wouldn't, I mean, I would say no, you know, but that's not the point. Like, those people should not do that.
Yeah. And like, if I'm a wrestler,
It's rude.
you know, like I just worked the night before a loop, you know, I'm coming home, I'm tired at the airport. Nobody's ever really happy at the airport getting off the plane, you know, you're just
It's terrible.
You're sore, and some guy comes up, hey, come on, be a nice guy, sign
Can
my
you
pic-"
sign these 6, 7 pictures? This? Can you sign this? Can you sign this? Can you sign? It's like, what the fuck?
They
is
have
this?
them all ready. It's like, it's a bit too professional.
You know what's going on.
It's not like a little kid going up like, hey, Mr. Seth Rollins, I'm a big fan. It's like some big fat guy who's just like, hey.
Yes,
You've seen him before 5 times.
If it's a kid that you see who sees you and is like, oh my God, and he's like, yeah, sign. But if it's like a bunch of people and they're all like, they all have 10 pictures, they want you to sign every picture and they all have it ready. If you have merchandise ready and it's not an autograph signing, there's something wrong.
Yeah. Like,
if you know that they're coming because you scouted out the airport and you scouted out the hotel, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. It's really not cool.
Yeah.
It's like,
or don't complain
it's
when
so
like the
far from
wrestler's
cool.
not smiling in the picture. Like, you know, like,
so lame.
yeah.
It's as low as it gets. It's as low as it gets. Shout out to Angelo Contagonis dropping a super chat. He says, thank you for another great show. Take care. Doug Hepburn said, damn you, Angelo, because he thought Angelo took the super chat of the night, but no.
Super chat.
Harold Schneider dropping a super chat says, you are amazing.
Oh.
And that $20 super chat is the super chat leader of the night. So thank you, Harold.
Nice.
Harold taking over. Doug was upset with Angelo for taking over, but Harold just comes on through, and we appreciate everybody supporting the Ringside Report Network. Thank you, guys. Doug Hepburn says, now I'm not sure about this. I don't know who this is. I once saw Fart Sheffield in a hotel. It was very cool because he is very cool. Do you mean Gary Sheffield?
Or Skip Sheffield, former of Ryback?
Who is Fart Sheffield? Oh, Gary Sheffield. He corrected.
Oh, Gary Sheffield.
I wanted to know who Fart Sheffield was. Is that a wrestler I don't know about? Fart Sheffield?
Was that the first name of Mr. Sheffield on The Nanny? His name was Fart?
Mr. Fart Sheffield. Mr. Sheffield. Tremendous. Gary Sheffield. You met Gary Sheffield.
Former player.
Nice.
One of my favorite batting stances. You know, he just like swing the bat back and forth like really fast. Like
Gary Sheffield is a cool. See, but like the chance encounter in a hotel or whatever, like that's fine.
Yeah.
I met Greg Maddox outside of a UFC show at the Mandalay Bay. I didn't get an autograph or a picture with him. I just
he probably appreciated that.
Said hello and
know?
spoke to him for a minute.
I feel like celebs probably appreciate that more. If you don't ask for a picture and autograph.
I do kind of wish I had a picture of me and Greg Maddox, though. That would be pretty cool. I love Greg Maddox.
Yeah.
I'm like I had a Greg Maddox poster on my wall as a kid. Like
I can attest to that.
Yeah, Atlanta
Next
Braves.
to Alanis Morissette and the X-Files.
Yo, it was the 90s, man. They were big at the time.
Yeah.
Greg Maddox, baby.
I mean, the Braves, the team of the 90s, they were called for a while.
Fucking Greg Maddox.
When you guys met Brett, you guys got a photo with Brett. You know?
Yeah, we do have a photo with Brett. But that was like, like a private meeting. That wasn't like a... Like, Brett came to us. We didn't, hunt Brett down at an airport. We were at a radio station, and Brett came, and we sat down. We talked to Brett.
That was pretty cool.
I mean, that's, not, you know?
That's different.
That's different, John.
It is, yeah.
You're not asking Brett to sign, a dozen things either. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
Come on.
You got a bunch of things there you should have got signed. It's too bad.
Oh, we got some stuff signed.
I got a thing signed.
Did you get the magazine of him on Lonesome Dove?
Yeah, I got a picture of him signed.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But that was it.
Didn't you once, was that Survivor Series when you kind of waited at the hotel just for and you met, Layla? And Kelly?
I was staying at the same hotel because I went to Survivor Series in Boston. And
wait.
yeah, and I was like I was just leaving the hotel, I was in the lobby, and then Layla and Kelly came in.
That's pretty cool.
And it was
that's a chance encounter.
It was pretty exciting to meet Layla and Kelly at the time. It was very exciting.
Layla.
And then I think like somebody was like, "Oh, we should get a picture with Layla and Kelly," and I was like, "Okay, I'll stand in this picture." And I stood in the picture, and I was like, "It was crazy." And yeah, that did happen, but it wasn't like
you weren't waiting for them.
No. And I like some people go to the hotels where the wrestlers are staying. Like I was staying at that hotel, and they happened to also be staying there. You know, it wasn't like
you weren't staying at a different one.
No. I wasn't trying to do anything. It just kind of happened, and I was like, "Oh, look at that." I remember the next morning I was like having coffee at the hotel coffee thing. And I was just looking, and I see this guy. He's got a fanny pack, and it was like, it was Michael Hayes.
Oh yeah. And
I was just looking at him, and I was just like waking up. You know, when you're waking up, you're just having coffee, and you see people, and you're like, "What the fuck? Who is that?" You know.
It's Michael Hayes.
And then Michael Hayes just walking by, and then he walks by, and he looks at me, and he's like, and he looks at me, and the guy's with, he's like, "Hey guys," and I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Oh, it's Michael Hayes." I was like, "Hi, Michael Hayes."
Super chat.
I couldn't even think of his name at the time. I was like, "Who is
Doc
that?"
Hendricks?
Yeah, it was weird. If you see me without coffee in the morning, it's like, it's not happening. Nothing's working. All right, Angelo Cartagonis dropping the super chat to regain the super chat lead. Very nice. Well, congratulations to you, Angelo, and thank you to everybody supporting the Ringside Report Network. We do appreciate it. Go to our website, ringsidereport.net. We get a lot of great stuff over on our website. Go check out all the new stories that we have over on our website. So much great content over at ringsidereport.net. Go check it out right now that you're done watching the show. You can go to our website and see even more, read even more, and find out even more about the Ringside Report Network. So that is something you can do right now. I will be back here Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you for watching the Full Gear post show. And a big shout out to Angelo, Doug, and Harold. And Angelo, you are the super chat leader. Thank you, guys. Thank you to everybody supporting the network. Leor, I saw you as well. Members of the team, thank you. See you again soon.
Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word.
You know the drill. Hit that subscribe button. Flip those notification switches.
We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net. Hope to